What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Paris and I make videos all about candle making and the starting and managing of my small candle business, LadyCIMONNE Candle Co. Today we are still in our Candle Biz Finance series, the first part of my three-part series, and today we are talking bookkeeping 101. So let's just get started. Okay, so you have your biz bank account set up in place. You've chosen your bookkeeping system, whatever that may be, whatever suits you. And now it's like, how the heck do I track or record in that system? So today I kind of want to go over some basic bookkeeping terms, kind of the main things you need to track and record, how to stay organized, and then how often you should typically perform bookkeeping type tasks. So let's start with sales. When it comes to sales and your bookkeeping system, you should literally be recording every sale that you get, whether that's in person, online, at a market, your next door neighbor, your best friend's homie, whatever. It should be recorded in your bookkeeping system. And depending on your bookkeeping system, you may find it helpful to record your sales by vendor or categorize your sales by vendor. I suggest that, or at least I started with that, and my bookkeeper still implements that strategy too, because it helps you assess where you're having most sales success. So if your online is booming, but maybe your market is, in person is not, or however, it will help you easily assess where to pour most of your energy. I would also like to note that your total sales generally, in most instances, is not just the amount that the customer paid for the item. It also includes the sales tax charged on the item and the shipping. All of that is considered revenue for you. Your gross sales, the official accounting term gross, is generally your total sales before any expenses are taken out. So for example, refunds or listing fees and things like that, before any of that is taken into account, that is whatever that number is, that is your gross sales, which actually brings me to my next record, which is your net sales, which is the opposite. Those are your sales after all your expenses are taken out, followed by your net profit or net income. That is that magical number that appears at the bottom of your statement, that bottom line number that all business owners look for. And that is the final number after literally all your biz expenses and everything, literally everything is subtracted out. That is that beautiful magic number that pretty much shows you the financial health of your business. The next major record that you should be recording are refunds, whether that's partial or full. I would even go as far as including even if you refunded shipping. So I'll give you an example. I had a customer buy 2 candles and a wax melt, and this particular person, this guy actually goes to my church. And so when I saw his name pop up in my order queue, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see him Saturday for rehearsal, right? And so I text him and was like, hey, you mind if I just see you, deliver it to you at church when I see you this weekend? And he didn't even think about it. He just was like, oh, I'll have it shipped to my house. And so just as a courtesy, it's like, if I know I'm gonna see you, I'll just go ahead and take that back. So I refunded his shipping. So that is a good example of something that I needed to record. I will say one helpful tip, something that my bookkeeper taught me, is you want to record your refunds as separate transactions. So for example, if you sold a candle for $15 but you refunded it for $8 or $7, whatever the reason may be, those are 2 separate recordings. So you want to record the sale that you sold a candle, because you still did, but you also want to record that partial refund. That's very important for your end number. Major record, of course, is expenses. That is a lot of what you're going to be doing when you first start your business. So you definitely want to record your expenses, any money that is going out. So whether that's to buy shipping materials like boxes, and you see these packing peanuts over here, all your candle supplies, any tools, any equipment that you're investing in for your business, whether it's a label printer or even some stationery stuff at Walmart. Like I buy printer paper and things like that for my headquarters, my little office up here. So any of that, any money that is going out of that business account should be recorded and or captured by or in your bookkeeping system. You also want to be recording your sales tax or any taxes collected by your state, however that is set up. I know every state operates different on how often you should pay. Some are monthly, some are every 6 months. Like myself, I actually pay my sales taxes monthly. So all Shopify automatically captures how much is going out and how much sales tax has been collected. I can just print out and filter a report, and it's being captured and recorded in QuickBooks, and my bookkeeper categorizes that when I pay my sales tax. When she sees that monthly Ohio sales tax category, she automatically knows, okay, she paid her sales tax that month. You also want to record inventory and cost of goods sold. Now, every bookkeeping system is different. Some can house all of those features, and then some you may be operating off like a spreadsheet, but you have an actual bookkeeping system like myself. I actually keep track of my inventory and my cost of goods sold and cost of good made and all of that stuff, my finished products, and all of my inventory logging is actually in that beautiful spreadsheet that many of you have either seen or asked me about already. But then I operate on QuickBooks as well. So QuickBooks does a lot of my capturing. My bookkeeper does all the reconciling and the categorizing for me. I finally was able to get that off my plate, so I can just focus on making sure my inventory and my cost of goods sold is made. So you want to either make sure the bookkeeping system that you chose either in-house all of that stuff, or you just get a one-time purchase spreadsheet, or you create your own spreadsheet and then have an actual bookkeeping system that does all the capturing and all the extra hard finance stuff in an actual system for you. Now let's segue into organization, which is actually I love being, I'm a super organized, like slight perfectionist type person. So I like things in place. I like things to make sense for me. So when it comes to organization, I always have recommended to anybody that's asked me so far here, being on YouTube and on social media, that make categories that make sense to you. Like, nobody is about to be judging you because of how you decided to name your category. If it works for you, honey, have at it. Before I hired my bookkeeper and I was doing everything by hand, and then I started moving into the Excel world, I had categories that just made sense for me for what I was doing for my business. Like, everybody's branding and materials and nice little packaging details are different. So everybody's categories are not going to be the same. And then when I hired my bookkeeper, and her and I had a super long initial first conversations, and we discussed what these, okay, girl, what does this mean? I'm like, okay, so that is when I buy XYZ. And so we came together and just collaborated on what made sense for her and I, because she was now going to be taking that load off. So she needed to understand my vibe and how I was keeping track of things. So just do you, honey. However that makes sense for you, do it. So for example, just to give you another example, so let's say you have things like shipping fees, then you have advertising fees, and let's say you have listing fees. All of those are obviously under a fee umbrella, but if it makes sense, like for me, it would make sense for me to break all of that out. So that way, if I needed a specific report to see, like, how much am I paying in fees? Like, I have that big total number, but how much of that is advertising? How much of that am I forking out in listing fees or my subscription fee with Shopify versus my shipping fees? So that way, as you grow in your business, you can really start making better business decisions, or, you know, kind of restructuring your business model or how you operate with your expenses. So that way your business can become sustainable and obviously profitable. That's every business owner's dream, is to see some profit in their pocket. So I found it helpful to kind of list certain things out that made sense for what I needed to analyze. Now, documents and receipts. You're probably thinking, like, would I ever really have like physical paper, physical receipts? And you never know. There may be times in your business where that may occur. Like for me, I do a lot of my office supply shopping at either Walmart or Target. There's plenty here in my town. So, you know, I go there. I like to physically sometimes shop for stuff. First of all, to get out the house. And secondly, I'm a sucker for supplies. I'm a sucker for office supplies and cute planners and things like that. So sometimes I just like to go out and browse. And so I would get a receipt from that. So I found, now approaching my first year of business, how much time it saves when you already have some type of organized system in place to house all of your documents and receipts. Even when I set up my my business as a legal entity, as an LLC, there's a lot of documents that came with that. And I have a folder set up in Zen Business where they kind of keep all of your documents housed. But I also wanted to print that out. I wanted to print out my state license. I wanted to print out my permit. I wanted to print out my documents and my agreements and contracts and put them in a folder, because I have it online. I also have it backed up on a drive and in the cloud, but then I also have it here physically. So when it comes for tax time, everything is easily retrievable regardless. So set up early in your business what type of organized system you want to have in place. So for your physical paper and receipts, I kind of have, I kind of have a list of ideas. So like a file folder that's labeled for each month of the year, categorized maybe by expense category or something like that. You can also get like an accordion file. So like I have this cute thing right here where I keep all of my receipts that I accumulate each month. So you could do something like that. You can keep it in a binder with like tabs and clear sleeves. I've seen a lot of people do it that way because they can just turn and see what's been going on for the month. You can definitely do envelopes. I've seen a lot of people do envelopes, very old school. You can also do like a receipt scanner to make it digitized. I'm actually looking into some apps or vendors where I can do things digital. And actually, I think QuickBooks allows you to capture receipts as well, which actually might really be helpful for my bookkeeper. So I'm actually going to look into that, come to think about it, while I'm recording this video. But yeah, so anything that works for you. If you're more of a digital person, have at it. If you're more of a tangible person, I'm kind of both, depending on what it is. But either way, just set something up that works for you. Now for the digital receipts and invoices, like I said, I'm kind of both. But I wanted to split this out into separate categories. So do what you do for your physical receipts and documents. I gave you some suggestions, but if you happen to also get like digital receipts and invoices, which is a bulk of what I get because I order a lot of my supplies, candle supplies and stuff online, I would recommend setting out some folders. So like in my Gmail, I actually have a label entitled invoices and receipts, and then under that I have a sub label that is titled inventory to log. So that lets me know whatever's in there, I need to log it into my inventory. So I could have purchased like 96 jars or something like that. So anything that has to do with inventory that I need to log in my spreadsheet, I have a folder for that. And then I have a folder that says receipts to scan. So I have all of that in there because I was still trying to decide how I wanted to scan in my stuff. And then I have another folder that says logged inventory. So once I've logged it, I move it to there. So I'm still saving it in a sense. I don't delete it or anything. It's just moved to another folder. So that way I know in my weekly inventory or my weekly bookkeeping tasks, I know what I need to do. So however you need to, establish folders for anything digital, invoices, any work that you've had, any services people have done for you, or anything that you purchased where you've been invoiced and you have to pay something, just save it and keep it organized, because I'm telling you, it's going to save you a headache as you're approaching your tax year. I promise you. Now let's kind of talk about how often should I be doing all this. Like, I got you, but how often should I be doing this? Now, I've researched just to kind of survey and poll other business owners out there and just to kind of see what everybody's doing. And then I kind of compared it to my experience. And monthly is actually ideal, because when you're a new business owner, you'll have enough transactions going in and out that I believe you can manage on a monthly level. But every business is different. Me, monthly was cool. Like, especially when you're buying your supplies in bulk, you're not buying bulk supplies every day or every week. So you may buy bulk supplies once a month, because the more you buy, the longer it will last you when you're making your final finished inventory. So, or depending on how quickly your candles sell. So I found monthly was ideal. Now, when I hired my bookkeeper, she kind of has her own rhythm. I find when I log into QuickBooks that she's kind of been reconciling on a bi-weekly basis. But now, she started out on like a monthly basis when she first started out. And now that my business is kind of picking up, I've found that she's kind of been reconciling and categorizing more frequently. And I also, when I have new vendors that I've worked with, or any new services that I've purchased, or anything that's new that has not had a category yet, and I know that because it's a new vendor, I will then email her and communicate with her and say, hey, I've purchased this. This is what it was and what it's for. It was on this date and this price, so she can easily find it. And her and I will discuss a category for it, or I said, hey, just create a category for it. Just let me know and communicate when we meet next month. Now approaching my 1 year of business, like before I hired her, I actually had to catch up on a couple months worth of bookkeeping, because I just got really, really busy. And I was just like, oh, I'll get to it. Kind of that thing. And so I really just want to encourage you guys, like, try to stay on top of it. Monthly is ideal, depending on how many transactions you have going in and out. But I had to kick myself in the butt, because we had a lot of long initial conversations, because I had to remember what that purchase was for. Like, what was that for? Or why did I buy that? I can't remember what service I got from that. Like, even though I have a receipt, I don't remember, so it took a while for her and I to really kind of get everything up and rolling. So if you set this up in place early and get the ball rolling early, you'll be set. And even if you want to eventually hire a bookkeeper, you can meet with her or him and immediately be able to set them up on your page, because you know exactly what is going on with your books. So one big tip that I want to give is establish a bookkeeping day. And I know you're probably like, girl, but I am telling you, establish a bookkeeping day, or block out a few days a week, or maybe the first week of the month, and just let that be your bookkeeping block. I'll let you know, for me, I have a bookkeeping block. I establish the 1st through the 5th of every single month, and that is my bookkeeping block. Yes, I have a bookkeeper. She does my reconciling, my analysis, all my reports, all my categorizing. She keeps my books clean, and I love her for it. But there are also bookkeeping tasks that I have held myself accountable to. So I still have to pay my sales taxes every month. I still need to manage my finances. I still need to log my inventory. I still need to log in my finished goods made and all of that stuff. I still have a nice little bookkeeping list that I have to do, my tasks that are for me. And so I've blocked out the 1st through the 5th so I'm not mentally overwhelmed. So I recommend either choosing a bookkeeping day where you just knock everything out, or a bookkeeping block where you do maybe a week. Or if that's too overwhelming for you, maybe divide your bookkeeping task throughout the month and have everything done by a certain time before that next month roll around. So you'll use all of throughout February to get all of January stuff done, if that works for you. I found that blocking out for a month for me, again, I'm not overwhelmed. I can go ahead and hop in my Gmail, see what all invoices and purchase orders I've gotten, what I need to log in my inventory, what I need to make sure, you know, is looked in QuickBooks, and make sure my sales tax was taken out. I like to always verify that my bills have been paid and taken out successfully. All of that stuff. Like I've created my own little list. So I like to use maybe that first week and I just kind of bite size it so I'm not overwhelmed. So that's a big tip for you, is to set a set amount of time out to handle all of your bookkeeping tasks. I'm telling you guys, it will save you a headache come tax time. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh, well, I'm just getting my business started. I don't have to worry about tax time. I still got a whole year, because you're just starting your business this year. Take it from, I'm telling you, during this series, I'm like y'all's big sister who's already bumped her head. Take advice from me and just go ahead and set yourself up early, because once you start having to do your sales taxes monthly or biannually, however, once you have to start logging in that, and you don't want to be overwhelmed and trying to recapture months of inventory, months of finished goods, trying to now categorize all of those receipts. Have everything up and running as early as possible. It will save you a headache later. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm going to leave you with some empowering words. Look, you are not playing business. You are a business owner. This is for real. Take it seriously. Take your business seriously. This is you. You're the face of your business. Be a true business owner. Shift your mindset. This is no longer a hobby. Once you really enter in that candle business life, just because you make candles and everybody look at it like a craft, honey, this is still your business, and you got money to make. So take it seriously. That's why I wanted to start this series. I love doing the demos and the how-tos and all of that stuff, but I don't see too many of these type conversations that I feel like are imperative for a business owner to start setting themselves up for success. No, I haven't been running a business for years, but I'm already approaching my first year. So a lot of the things that I'm discussing, I've already been there, done that, bumped my head, kicked myself on the butt, talked to my bookkeeper about it. She's giving me things that I need to do better, giving me advice. I've heard the feedback. I've solicited advice from professionals. I have a business coach. There's things that I'm investing in early, so that way my business is getting set up to be profitable and sustainable in the long run. So I have a freebie for you guys. You all know I have a freebie. I have created a freebie that is all about the different bookkeeping tasks that you can either do, that I have divvied out, that you can do weekly or monthly and annually. So these are things that are not only recommended by how I've been taught by professionals, but these are things that I've actually implemented and put in place and found they have worked. And so I'm giving it to you guys. You can implement it, restructure it, and see what works for you. Either way, it's free, and I'm just handing off some knowledge so that way you can set yourself up in your business for success. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm trying not to bore y'all. I'm trying to make these exciting. But this is important information, and I just want you all to do great this year when you're launching your businesses. And until next time, bye.